My mic is muted? It is. Hello. I was almost late to the stream because I was like, oh, let me finish this one segment I'm in Tears of the Kingdom. It was 12:54 when I put the game down. Okay, we don't need this anymore, do we? Yeah, see ya. I want fish. How do I get the fish? Look fatty stupid. There it is. Video games do be like that, yeah? This stream will get the water life collector, and I want to put it in Waterfall because that's where the best fish are. And then I can put them in the aquarium. And then from there... yeah. I guess we could actually just talk about Tears of the Kingdom. The game is fine. I'm not really big on the vehicle and like contraption building stuff like everybody else is. But that's just kind of down to how I play video games. You know, and my history with playing video games. There were things, you know, games like Garry's Mod and the like that I kind of just, I had more than my fill of when I was younger, and then I haven't really wanted to go back to like building just goofy stuff like that. I was talking with Sherry, about all that. And they were telling me that as a kid, because they couldn't watch fireworks, because they were like really, like irritating, like the loud noise and everything was problematic. So they would build thrusters with dynamite on them, and a bunch of like soda cans with colored, like full bright trails. And then they shoot that up in the air, you press the button, boom, and then all the little pieces go flying out. So it's like getting to see fireworks but without the noise, and you get the, you know, you get more control over kind of the sensory aspect of it. Fantasy Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts? No. Because Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, 1, had contempt for the game that came before it, and then 2, follows up that contempt with, I literally just had the words, I'm sorry. How have you been building these? Oh, okay, you converted all those into all those. Anyways. But that was a game that had contempt for the game that came before it, and then it just becomes all about its driving missions. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom is about extrapolating upon and building upon the game that came prior. And for what it's worth, there's a lot of really cool stuff. It's the same map, but the ways that the map changes are legitimately, like, super cool. Like, being able to finally, fix the flooding that made accessing the Great Plateau difficult. You know, being able to go back to those locations and seeing new challenges and new puzzles with those locations is super cool. I forgot why I needed all this mutagen. Is there anything I was building that required it? I could build aquarium. Nothing I can do with it. Yeah, but it's not just like building vehicles that you're doing in Tears of the Kingdom. There's also, you know, you have the ability to also, like, just piece together bridges and things. The way that the game opens up for you to kind of play with is super, super cool. Explore, build, fight. We're just making, like, that's just the slogan for any old... Oh my god, I already had a drawer for all these. Need to go out soon and do stuff. That is quite alright. Glad to have you regardless. But anyways, like, the ability to build, like, bridges. One of the recurring, puzzles is there's a guy that is trying to put up signs, and you gotta put supports on his signs. You know, the way that you can, you know, one of the first things it has you do is just build a raft out of logs. Cut down the trees, take the logs, weld them together, put a fan on the back, and let it go. You know. And then the way that, like, the systems come together, I think, is super interesting as well. Oh, that was the Windows key. Like the hot air balloon. Now I need to go out. I'll hopefully be back soon. Alright, you have a good rest of your day, Weaver. Enjoy. I've got itchies. No, seriously, what's going on? Kind of want to play it now. It's still $70, and it's not like you're really missing too much. I think the game is quite neat, but it's hard to have an opinion beyond quite neat. Oh, you know what? I was building these. I was building Shriox. Badger, 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 badger. Mushroom. How much do I need for a tree spreader? 2 bark, 2 bacteria samples. Oh, I'm out of water. But yeah, to kind of wrap up my thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom, the way that, like, the construction kind of ties into the gameplay mechanics, it straddles the line between genuinely cool and a little intrusive. Like, so many of the puzzles are about, you know, how can you What is this? I haven't seen you on YouTube since the Payday Story vid, which was great. Still watch that now. I'm still around streaming. I still upload videos, although, today my last video in my weekly upload schedule came out, and now I'm going to be moving to an as it's done, schedule of, like, essays. And if you enjoyed that video, I've done plenty of other video essays. They're all, I think, at the very least, I think they're worth watching, so. I think, though, one of the things that that needs to be addressed when talking about Let's Talk About, and even its sequel, we're still talking about Payday 2, is that both of those videos are kind of more about the development story and my own personal history with the game, rather than, oh, the game is good, you should play it, or the game is bad, you shouldn't play it. It is more nuanced than that, and it gets more and more nuanced the longer the game goes on living, because the people playing it, boy howdy, I poked around in it a few nights ago, kind of just looking through stuff since We're Still Talking About came out last year. And the one thing that really caught my attention was the fact that a lot of the new weapons are very sci-fi. They've added the Metal Storm. They've added, the Knight's Armament chainsaw, which is literally a squad automatic weapon, but in the form factor of a chainsaw with an underbarrel flamethrower. And it really seems like kind of the crowd the game is pulling now are, and Sherry's noticed this a lot more than I have, but I still notice it. It's a more conservative crowd, which is weird because the game is like literally only about shooting cops dead. I don't need this. Hold on, put that back. I don't got room for it. But it's a very kind of conservative. That was McShay Pack either 2 or 4. The Metal Storm is in 2. I know that much. And it's got like a 50 round burst, 2,000 rounds per minute, like 100 accuracy and stability BS thing going on. That sounds, frankly, a little out of pocket. But yeah, like the way that the game is heading right now, I'm skeptical. Skeptical's a good word of the third game. And Sherry's of the opinion, and I'm also partially of the opinion, that they keep going, oh, you know, Payday 3, hold on, let me get in character. Heisters. Payday 3 is coming out this year. Be on the lookout for it. But Sherry, and even partially myself, are of the opinion it's gonna get pushed back to 24. But, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's one of those things where I kind of I worry about the third game quite a bit, just because the crowd the game has pulled now is so kind of antithetical to the crowd that played the game, you know, prior. And maybe I shouldn't say this, but it does kind of... I kind of want to do an essay looking into why the people playing Payday now are so heavily kind of the crowd that the game has been designed to appeal, like, not appeal to. You know, the fact that this is a very kind of techno-libertarian conservative crowd that feels kind of, I guess vindicated is the right word, by the direction the game is headed. I also received some intel about some of the stuff some of the other folks from Starbreeze are up to, and without saying too much, I think a Where Are They Now video would be quite the hoot. So maybe I'll do that. Nothing set in stone. You know, I also want to do a video about Dead Island 2 and how we had Dead Island 2 at home, Dying Light, and how Dying Light is just the more fun version of Dead Island, and they had an opportunity to learn from their mistakes with the first game and kind of learn from the problems with the first game, and they just didn't. But also, you know, it could be its own like whole. Oh, what game is this? This is the Planet Crafter. It's made by two French folk. It's it's like a first-person clicker, sort of. We're incrementing the numbers by building resources, and if I make it back to main base, we can kind of look a little more at them. Let me have a sip. Kind of stopped hardcoring Payday a little while ago. I'm looking forward to 3. I agree, it'll get pushed back. Dead Island 2 is fine, but it's kind of just it's Dead Island again. Which, okay. So yeah, we've got these numbers are incrementing based on the things we've constructed. So the heat's going up, oxygen's going up, biomass, which is like our plants and aminals. Oh yeah, but we also have to worry about power. We're okay on power. Is this just a sandstorm? Yeah. I think a lot of people were just excited that Dead Island 2, 1 came out, and 2 looks good. The game does look good. But, like, it doesn't really push the formula any further forward. Whereas Dying Light did a lot of pushing forward, but is so wrapped up in its own melodrama that it can feel like a tough play. And it is. Oh yeah, no. I get the, you know, the dissatisfaction with the graphical arms race, and Tears of the Kingdom has proven that it doesn't matter as much as these companies think it matters. You know, people bought a game that looks like it came out. People bought a game that looks almost exactly like a 2017 launch title on the Switch because the gameplay is engaging. I guess the big thing, other than it looks good and the first game didn't, is also the fact that they've got a procedural like flesh system on the zombies, So they don't need to, you know, they just make the set of materials. You know, it's just like, okay, you know, this is our material for, you know, bone, this is our material for this kind of organ, whatever. And then they can procedurally break these models apart. Like, that's kind of the cool thing. And to some extent, it's really kind of really forward thinking, because that, you know, that should hopefully, I haven't looked into if it did or not, but that should hopefully kind of deter some of these kind of bad practices we're seeing in the games industry now, where they'll make developers look at execution footage and, you know, diagrams of dead and decaying bodies, and that causes PTSD. NetherRealm, rather infamously, did just that, and one of their artists had to step down between, I think, Mortal Kombat's 10 or 11, or 11 and its DLC, because the trauma kind of involved was just a bit much to bear. I like Dying Light, just couldn't get into it for some reason. Dying Light is a rough sell. The combat is not good until you're pretty much done with the game. And the story is dog water. It's not a good political correct. No, that's not quite. I don't think that's the issue. I think that's the kind of thing that people jump to without really kind of taking, you know, the scene apart and kind of more adequately looking at the moving parts. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Yeah, the indie scene has had it good with showing that gameplay is kind of the thing that people are still drawn to. The other core issue, though, and I'm well aware, I'm just kind of flying in circles. The other core issue is now the indie games movement is kind of being co-opted by these big companies. You know, Netflix is an indie game publisher now, so, you know, whatever. If that's how you want to be, then, you know, don't let me stop you, I guess, but it kind of just comes across as these companies are looking for kind of that means to, oh yeah, no. The opening, like, 2 or 3 hours of Dying Light is more like the opening, like, almost like 5 hours, is whacking stuff with a rusty hammer. Yeah, Netflix is publishing Oxenfree 2 on all platforms. They published Terra Nil on iOS. They have a ton of games, and they're trying to kind of push themselves to be the like, this is gonna sound absolutely insane, I'm sorry, but Netflix is trying to be their own Annapurna, which is so odd. The idea that a company like Netflix is trying to kind of participate in and compete in that space. But it's genuinely a thing that they're doing. And as a result, like, so many of these, you know, indie games are multi-million-dollar projects backed by companies with millions of dollars. And I don't mean any disrespect to the people who take those deals. You know, if that's how you make money and you're getting to make the games you want to make, like, don't let me stop you. But the way that Netflix is doing it for this kind of like street cred, or like the accolades surrounding having a prestige title, you know, such as that, doesn't sit quite right with me. You know, and then that also kind of gets into the whole nonsense surrounding the idea of the wholesome games scene. How it's companies selling this very marketable idea of what a video game should be, or what an indie game should be. And there are good ones. There are good, wholesome games. Unpacking is the one that immediately comes to mind. That game is phenomenal. No, sometimes any deal is better than no deal. No, that's absolutely, like, my thought as well. But the way that these corporations, you know, these studios like Annapurna and Netflix have found what they consider their house style for what they want indie games to be, and that kind of clouds, you know, what an indie game could be. You know, the idea that indie games have to be things like Papers, Please and Unpacking, where it's an emotionally driven experience based on a very simple kind of gameplay hook, when, you know, we also have indie games like Cruelty Squad. We have indie games that are kind of, you know, kind of abrasive. And even kind of a step beyond that, we have indie games that could be considered, to someone's definition of the word, wholesome, but because it touches on a not work safe topic or something like that, you know, you wind up with a game that kind of gets shunned in those circles. And I'm thinking of, this is gonna bother me, so I saw this on Co-Host. Who was this? Oh yeah, they don't have infinite scroll, so page 2 definitely. Oh god, is this gonna be page 3 now? Yep, there's everybody. Oh, while I'm here, go on itch.io and check out Connor Sherry Shaw's visual novel, We Will Not See Heaven. It's super cool. I've definitely missed it. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, Sylvie. I want to get the names. Okay, yeah, like in terms of wholesome games that, or in terms of wholesome games that aren't wholesome games, Sylvie and Aria, especially, of Love Game. They are two independent developers that make kind of two different flavors of game, and Aria is the more risque of the two. And despite that, they are still like unabashedly wholesome in their experience. It's, you know, it's the game's about the joy of being, and especially in a queer space, the joys of being queer in that space. Let's see what I missed. I just hate they take the reins in an indie game that take away from the vision of the devs had before the big bucks. Oh, there's a whole snafu surrounding Risk of Rain that you may or may not have heard of. Risk of Rain was, I forget the developers, but they released a big, like, third-person sequel, Risk of Rain 2, with the help of Gearbox. But now Gearbox owns the property of Risk of Rain 2, but not Risk of Rain 1, and the developers of Risk of Rain 1 are remaking the first game with the content of the second. Because, effectively, they've lost the rights to Risk of Rain as a third-person, you know, mid-budget shooter. But they still have the rights to Risk of Rain as a 2D side-scrolling, smaller budgeted release. And it's just kind of, it's really interesting. And I'll be honest, I barely knew any of that because I don't follow the Risk of Rain games. I played a bit of 2. I did a video on 2 that I should probably just delist because it's not helpful. Where I kind of just go, I don't get why this game is so popular. And genuinely I don't. But that's not helpful for anybody wanting more information. It's kind of me just fielding a question. I could have just gone to the forums and been like, I saw a lot of people bought this game. Like, how did so many people find out about this game? What drew them to it? But instead I made like an 8-minute video where I complained about roguelikes. Whoops. Good old Pandy Richford. Just go back to doing your magic tricks, buddy. What a dork. Oh, Randy. Randy Pitchford, and there's no easy way to say this, Randy Pitchford, to me, is like, just like making a fart noise with your underarm in human form. Nothing he's ever done has been intentionally cool or funny. And I kind of just sit here like, wow. Long way from Half-Life opposing force now, aren't we? Get out of the tree. Like, the way it turns out that the people with money are some of the most insufferable people you could imagine is frankly interesting. Oh, yeah, Duke Nukem. Well, okay. Duke Nukem Forever does kind of, as odd as it may sound, I do want to come to the aid of Duke Nukem Forever in that what the game is a satire of was genuinely cool, and the mechanics were kind of neat. But the iteration of the game we got came out like almost 4.5, 5 years too late for it to have been genuinely cool. Duke Nukem Forever, if it had come out in 2005, would probably be remembered as kind of like a cool successor, an evolution of Duke Nukem 3D. And it does share a lot of DNA with Duke Nukem 3D, but like everything from like 04, 05 to like 09, 010 when the game came out is just so rough. It's very clear that they just started going like, well, I want the game to have this, I want the game to have this, and there was no real regard for how that affects the gameplay. Like the regenerating ego system kind of makes the actual combat less interesting. only being able to carry 2 weapons when it's got such a cool arsenal. Duke Nukem 3D had a fantastic arsenal, and all of like the ImSim qualities in Duke Nukem are genuinely interesting. They're not used right, because the game came out a little too late for anyone to have really been interested. And ultimately, like, when you look at it, Duke Nukem 3D is still the better game, even though it's old. Because it sticks to this, like, one kind of well-patented design trope and doesn't deviate from it. It only, like, expands upon it. And it expands upon it in a way that, you know, its kin and contemporaries couldn't have. So, ultimately, it is a genuinely really cool game. And then, you know, Duke Nukem Forever is here. Yeah, something about the whole, like, snafu. And then for a while, John St. John was kind of being a dick. Specifically, there was a beef surrounding, for a while. It's been resolved, I've been informed. But surrounding John St. John and Gianni Matrigrano. And that's just kind of, you know, sad. But, you know, at this point, you know, we are in the future, so those days are past us. So, you know, for a while there was some genuine concern about, like, the fate of Duke Nukem, and still, it's not. You know, like, where are we now? I don't know. Video games. Videos game. Everybody knows the only real video game, the only video game that exists anywhere in the world right now is myhouse.wad. I'm still thinking about that thing. It's like, yeah, like half my brain's Zelda, the other half is, hey, remember My House? It's like, yeah, that only came out a couple months ago. MyHouse.wad is a truly superb Doom mod. I did a video on it, where I just play through it. But it's really worth playing on your own. It is, according to its developer, it's a tribute to a late friend. Oh. I'm well and truly... Where am I? Okay, we're just gonna... Okay. Oof. So... It was a tribute to... It opens as this was a tribute to a friend. A friend died, he went through his old stuff, and found that he was working on a Doom WAD, a Doom map of his own house. And the story of the WAD is, the guy wants to publish it to kind of, you know, honor his friend. But then the map takes a life of its own. And you end up playing this, like, gargantuan, it's like 160 megabyte PK3 file of the house. And it's very much inspired by House of Leaves, which is a really cool book about how these people have this, like, spiraling concrete labyrinth in their house, and the final, like, 10-20 pages of the book are effectively, like, encrypted and full of, like, odd puzzles and wordings. And there's been just as much discussion and study done on those last few pages as there has been done on the rest of the book. Because it's just this, like, bizarre, highly cryptic, like, puzzle within the story, and it got a lot of people's attention. Okay, well, now we can make pulsar quartz, so I'm going to do just that. But what does it need? Oh, I have those things. Oh. House of Leaves is a book. House of Leaves is a novel, and it's a revered one at that. It's not like I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, where it got a PC version. But myhouse.wad is it's a Doom mod. You'd have to get Doom 2 if you don't already have it, and the latest version of GZ Doom. It claims it's about 10 minutes. In reality, it's about 30-ish. But it's definitely worth the experience. But yeah, like at any given time, like those are the games right now, like pinging around in my head like loose change in the dryer. It's if it's not Zelda, it's, you know, water, fertilizer 1 and 2. Water. I want my wheat seed. And I think it needed a zeolite. No, an alloy. Yeah, if it's not Zelda right now, it's my house. And that's just kind of how my brain works right now. I played a medieval. I own a medieval, and I tried to play. I just kind of wanted to play the RTX demo that's included. I should go back and play the game proper, because I've heard it's quite good. Maybe that's what we do. We did Dusk, like at the start of this year. Yeah, it was like a double feature. We did Dusk and then we did Prey, and boy, I'll say this. Prey is neat. I'm glad I'm not playing Prey anymore. And I guess I should explain. It's conceptually a neat game. I just think the combat is rubbish. And some of the puzzles made me feel like a dummy. And I am. I'll admit it. Yes! Finally. What do I need? I need 3 silk? I need to turn this thing off? Wait, no I don't. Hold on. Haha. 2 bioplastic and a super alloy. Do I have to? I do. Is that it? Yep. Alright, this is going down to Waterfall. Although I should probably see if I have enough resources for another teleporter. That's gotta be more than enough, right? Alloy rod, osmium, zeolite. Oh, I don't even need a full rod, I just need the one. Alright. I kind of want to do... There's a video I'm thinking about making that would be like taking a sledgehammer to a wasp nest, and it's my top 100 games, because my list is so contrarian to so many other people's. Like, my list would contain Dwarf Fortress, but I genuinely do not think it would contain a Mario game. It might contain one. You know, it would... I should do it. A 100%. Maybe that starts life as a stream, where I just compile in like a spreadsheet all of the games that I've played and liked and tried to string them together. Because I'll admit, there are games that would be on that list just for the, kind of what it does, what it did to gaming. I don't know about a tier list. It would no doubt be easier. Oh, I still have a butterfly dome? Huh. Crazy. Alright. Water life collector, that goes there. What's in here? Nothing really. Alright. Waterfall. And back. Oh, mushrooms. It's like, why am I flying back here? My brain doesn't work. Right, mushrooms go in there, and water goes in here. Alright, I'm turning you back to making plastics for me. Alright. Nothing here. Top 50. My phone just went off. I forgot to take everything out. I'll make it a stream series. Okay, we got enough. Go back to making quartz. Although these are probably full of junk. And you know what? You probably need more iridium, don't you? Or uranium? Uranium. Okay. Tell you what, I'll even do 2. Seven. That's not nearly enough. All right. And now I need to do the same over here. Although I think never mind, I was gonna say, I think I just ran out. Of material, nope. Pop. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking do it as a video and I just have brief descriptions of why the games are on here. Or are on the list in the manner they're on the list. I don't think I'd play through the whole list. Like, God, no. The other problem with doing a top 100 is I'd need footage of 100 distinct games. All right. I need another alloy. We have a decent number of viewers today. That's interesting. Wow. Thank y'all for choosing my nonsense. All right, we got a lot of phytoplankton, and I do not remember how to craft these. They go in the incubator. I know that much. I need mutagen tier 3. Oof. You know what? This should actually work. Okay, so B3 and fertilizer. Oh, hit that button. Alrighty. Okay, we have enough. You can stop that now. Has Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet. I was talking about it briefly at the start of the stream, but I can. We can open the floor back up to it. It's fine. It's about, whoa. Okay. It's about what it looks like. Is probably the best way to say. Probably the best way to word my opinions on the game. It's nothing like super groundbreaking, but the little incremental stuff is kind of neat. The way that they evolve the world of the Legend of Breath of the Wild is genuinely cool. I am already kind of sick of the vehicle building. But that's just because I kind of got a lot of that stuff out of my system with Gary's mod. So a game going like, oh, you could build whatever you want. It's like, no, I'm just gonna run. I don't even use the horse. The Fallout 2 is a great analysis, honestly, or Fallout 2 is a great comparison. Like, genuinely fantastic. Because it's like the same world, but a little while later. Yeah. Yeah, no, that... You nailed it, honestly. Yeah, it's the game that came before it, but with a number of new features and expansions, based on all that they've learned from working on the game that came before it and working on expanding that since. 3 iron, 3 titanium. Okay. Yeah, like the manner in which like the world has been, you know, expanded is interesting. I'll just put that there. Grab that. The new mechanics are fun to play with. Though some may say not to eat. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of just... I will say, though, there is a lot of new stuff. You know, the world is substantially larger than you would believe. Even if the sky is a little on the disappointing side, it's kind of bland. There we go, Tiloo. That's the good stuff. Yeah, because we want these fish numbers big. Alright. And now I can kind of just shuttle stuff between the two. Alright. What do I need for a drone station? Because I do want drones. Fusion energy cell. 2 osmium. And just 1 super alloy? Yep. Osmium rod, alloy rod. And 3 circuit boards. Okay. So now we've got drones. Let me fetch my drones. Okay, so now how we can dictate what we want done is, it's just like this. We go here. This is... yeah, this is demand, osmium, priority 1. And now, if I go to the osmium cave, I just need to set that to supply. Osmium, priority 1, and a drone will be out and about to go restock these shelves for us instead of having to make all of our silly little trips. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is very much a Fallout 2 scenario. The world is a lot more treacherous and kind of intimidating, but you generally have, like, the whole, like, big, like, sticking point with the game is it's about, it is about, community. You know, you are working with, you know, a number of NPCs. Instead of getting just powers from completing the major dungeons, you get allies. And in doing that, the game feels a lot more... it generally feels like a much more optimistic world, despite being a more sinister world around you. It's got like a really kind of cool, like, Magitech steampunk vibe to it, which is definitely not helped by the fact that the NPC that you spend the most time like kind of talking with in the opening hours of the game is Pura, who is now in her 20s. Wink. So you're literally like followed around by the Hylian equivalent of a zoomer, who's yeeting you into the air and having you build all these contraptions to figure out what's going on. And it's just got a fun vibe to it. Truly. I haven't played any of the dungeons yet. I've been trying to complete most of the above ground map. And oh yeah, demand sulfur priority 1. All right, you are going to demand alloy priority 1. You are going to demand zeolite priority 1. Alrighty. I'm very intrigued. It's an intriguing game. And the way that they kind of marry these aspects of the game design together is super engaging. It does have issues. It is functionally just Breath of the Wild, again, with a couple new things. But I think even like more so than just that, the performance still isn't great. Being a product of such an overzealous, physics and kind of interaction engine, it does have a number of breakdowns and exploits. People have found a pretty reliable way to just duplicate whatever you want, which is definitely not part of the game design. Oh, really? You know, a lot of the puzzles are very easy to break, because it's just like, oh, how do you get this thing from here to there? It's like, oh yeah, I could just carry it, or I can just weld it to this like wheel. I don't, you don't need to overthink. If you overthink the game, it's way more interesting than it really is. And I don't mean that as like a dig. What I mean is, if you want to be, a lunatic building these like ridiculous inventions, you're more than welcome to do that. But it's not necessary to enjoy the game. Alright. I want fish farm. 556 watts. Okay, we'll check this. I will say they did a lot of boasting about the sky. They're like, wow, Skyrim's never been this big before. Look at all the stuff you can do in the sky. The sky is such a small part of the world, I regret to inform you. You're starting like Sky Island is probably like between half and 2/3 of all of the Sky adventuring you can do. And it is genuinely kind of disappointing. All right, so now I've got, yep, there they go. If we follow the drones, the manner in which they move is kind of fun. They will literally just clip straight through the mountain. There's no pathing. Yeah, I learned this one the fun way. The sky is bad? No. No, the game is gorgeous, especially given the fact that it's essentially the same visuals as Breath of the Wild. It still looks fantastic. But the actual like exploration and sense of adventure in the Sky Islands, it just blows. It's not fun. And I wish, genuinely, I wish there was more to do in the sky. I mean, like the characters up there are fun. The Zonai, I think they're neat. The boss that's exclusive to the sky, the Flux Construct, is one of my favorite bosses in a video game. Honestly, the way that it uses the building tools almost exclusively for combat is just you know, they didn't need to do that, but like the fact that they did, and the fact that it's as fun as it is genuinely comforting. You know, it genuinely feels like that the people who worked on this game loved working on it. And that transfers very nicely into the actual, you know, gameplay itself. It feels fun. Even if all you're really doing is kind of just exploring the same map and looking for the same kinds of things all over again. It genuinely does not matter. There is, there's finally caves and stuff again. There's a lot more of just like normal exploration. And that includes this like massive underground area too. And I'm not gonna say much about the underground area, but it's real compelling. I'm gonna wait for one more. I'm gonna build. Well, while I wait for that one more, I should probably go actually set up the. I swear I did, but it doesn't seem like they're bringing anything back. The other thing I've got to worry about is kind of the loose materials. Because everything else, like the iron, the magnesium, the silicon, is just gonna build up in the auto miners, and then at some point it's just gonna clog. So I should probably empty those out. Yeah, just give me everything. Yeah, if you like the exploring in Breath of the Wild and wouldn't mind paying $70 for an expanded version of it, Tears of the Kingdom is good. We also must discuss the fact that this is also coming from the company that is garnishing the wages of a PR guy and a salesman for a hacking company. 30% of his paychecks for the rest of his life. Plus, he's spending a long time in jail because he happened to just kind of become the scapegoat for Nintendo to crack down on the Switch hacking. Like, he was just genuinely, like, in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're punishing him to a ludicrous degree. And that does deserve talking about. That does deserve scorn, even. The manner in which they're just more than willing to thrash this guy's life. And I'm not saying it's because he has a name that sounds like a Nintendo character, but it sure seems coincidental. Yeah, my heart genuinely goes out to Gary Bowser. Nobody deserves that kind of punishment, truly. Okay, now we can build the tier 2 gas extractors. These guys are cool because you can just pick what you want to come out of them and it'll make it. So now, you know, if oh wait, I could probably do it this way. Hold on. Alright, if I just do this, that should give me at least one. Yep. And that's probably all I'm gonna be able to get for now. Alright. I believe it's this one. Yeah, no, like, Nintendo is utterly draconian, legally, to an extent that I think even makes Disney look, almost saintly by comparison. Almost. Not quite. But, you know. Okay, so you turn that on. That is now locked in there. Yep. So now we can go and open up these side doors, which contains some extra stuff. Yeah, look at that. I don't know. All I know about my view on Nintendo is Nintendo has thoroughly made me a Gary Bowser apologist until the day I die, because they decided that if they're gonna punish anybody, they're gonna punish the guy with the Nintendo-y last name, who is just a businessman who's trying to make, a salesman who's trying to make ends meet. He's not the person writing the hacks or anything like that. It wasn't his decision to sell them. It's terribly rude. Iridium, uranium, technology, rocket thruster as well. That. This I think just needs a new name at this point. I can probably go ahead and toss the air filter. Oh wait, no, don't throw it away, don't throw it away. Decraft it. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, what else have I been playing? Tears of the Kingdom, my house. Dead Island 2 is kind of a nothing burger video game. Oh boy, hold on. Well, they hung up. Wasn't my decision to have a phone up here, but it's fine. Oh, while talking about bad skyboxes, who wants to hear the story about why Pokemon Scarlet and Violet run not good? Because I've learned it, and it's given me pause. I wish it gave me actual pause. this. So how do I demonstrate? Okay. You know what? Here we go. So imagine this is Paldea as a region. It's surrounded by ocean. But to make it so it genuinely has a horizon, and you can't just go, oh, wait a second, you know, I think I see the edge. The ocean goes out quite far. A lot farther than it needs to. And it's got a shader on it. It's got, you know, quite the nice shader at that. You know, the water is believably sparkly. You know, it looks like quality water. Elsa. Hi. Hi, Elsa. Get up on the bed. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go on. Get up there, you rascal. Want some help? No, you got it. Okay. Anyways, oh no. Oh, shoot, what was I even talking about? My brain don't work good. Okay. We are supplying out of that. Okay. Well, I made sure of that at least. Okay, so no. Seriously, what was I discussing? Oh, okay, Paldea. It's got a shader on it with some light reflectivity. If I had to guess, it's probably specular. Or something specular based. And that is a problem when you have a large surface. And so, when you have a large surface that's constantly animated via a shader, you risk using some resources. Not a lot, but the fact that the Switch has to render this giant plane, and depending on how they do the waves, that plane might be subdivided to hell and back. It might be a what do they call it? Parallax. Parallax. It's PBO, isn't it? Parallax occlusion mapping. Oh, yeah. You know, if they're using parallax occlusion mapping to make the waves, then, you know, you have to have a high texel density to make that look nice. And even if they're not doing any of these things, you know, even if none of that is how they're shading these environments, even if it is just a flat plane with a texture slapped upon it, which it could be, honestly. Drawing such a large plane and keeping track of all of its data, like, you're using a floating point, and the larger that distance, the harder it is for the CPU to keep track of the fullest extent of those floating point numbers. That's where, like, floating point imprecision comes from. That's where you know, bad performance, like in Minecraft, like when you go out to the far lands, comes from. But that's not all. There's also a sky above it, and that sky has clouds, and they look procedural, but they're not. It's an animated texture again on a dome, on a sphere. And if Paldea is the size of Spain and Portugal, the sky sphere that surrounds the region, surrounds the game, is the size of the sun. You don't want that. You don't want that. And so, in having to keep track of these massive objects, the game's performance takes a hit. And I'm not sure why they did it in the way they did it, other than because that's just how it happened. Wow. Oh. I'm gonna wind up with a ton of pulsar quartz from this. I genuinely don't need this. Here's what we'll do. We're already facing touchdown. We're going to Waterfall, and we're going to enjoy the event from here. I may have made a mistake, because I have to put stuff away, which I'm going to do quickly. Genuinely, I guess what I'm coming down to is when a AAA is able to just make a fun and cool video game, and it's not about that, like, trying to ever expand. You know, we need a bigger game, better graphics, that reaches a larger number of people. Like, kind of intrinsically, a better game doesn't reach a ton of people. A better game is more loved by a devoted niche audience. Because if you try to make a game that appeals to everybody, you make Grand Theft Auto 5. And we don't need another Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if you've noticed, we already have one. It's like, yeah, it's the biggest, like, media, like, sale thing of all time. I don't remember the exact number, or, like, the exact thing. It's like the highest, it's the most profitable, media product, I think, of all time. And, like, that's neat, sure. Alright. Oh, wait, no. I don't. I literally just scooped up a bunch. But, like, also, GTA 5 has a number of problems. Ask the people who loved the single-player content. And when they were told back in 2013, yeah, the game will get single-player story DLC. Where are those people now? Are they happy? Yeah, it didn't happen. Ask people about how bad the griefing situation is in that game. It's almost impossible to play an online public lobby because you'll have people who have, whether it's, you know, they have the Oppressor Mark II, which is a flying bike with guns, or they just straight up hack and they just have the ability just, like, to wall hack you. That kind of stuff really dampens people's enthusiasm for a game. When people make it hard to play a game, the only people who enjoy the game are the people who are hacking. And then, like, you know, it can't be a replacement for a proper racing game because the driving is kind of designed for everything. It can't be a proper, you know, third person or first person shooter, because the combat isn't necessarily the big focus of the game. It's got tennis and golf, but they're not implemented well, because they kind of just exist to be little supplementary mini games to enrich the world. But you can't play GTA 5 like a dedicated tennis game. When people want a good tennis game, they're not going to turn to GTA 5. They're going to turn to an actual tennis game. And they're not going to turn to, oh, this is rude. They're not going to turn to Mario Tennis Aces because they want a tennis game. Apologies to any Mario Tennis Aces fans. I haven't played a Mario sports game in ever. The last one I played was Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64. It seems like, though, a lot of the Mario sports games this generation have been resoundingly mid. Why is only one supplying? That doesn't seem right. Okay, now what do you, Okay, we got enough of that. Make us some fertile tier 2. Alright, so 5, 10, 15, 20, so 2. I may have goofed that. I return! Welcome, Weaver. Hey, we've made some progress. Check this out. What do you mean? I'm out of osmium because my drones aren't working. Anyways, let's go over to Waterfall. Look at that, there's fish. They're in tanks. Don't worry about checking it out. It broke. It didn't want to cooperate. All right. And because of where we planted that, we get the best fish, so we don't need any of the other things right now. Fertilizer, so we need oxygen, fertilizer. You know what? I'm actually gonna double up this recipe. Oxygen, fertilizer, 2 computer chips, and 2 super alloy. Uh, 3 iron, 3 titanium. Okay. Didn't quite work out the way I was hoping, but that's why we've got more material. I'm not gonna have room, am I? Nope. All right. Pull them out of there. All right, and then I'm just gonna construct a line of aquariums. All right, 3 of them. And we're gonna go and we're gonna pick up more eggs. And then we just boop, 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 chomp, slurp, fertilizer tier 2, oxygen, alloy, and computer chip. So, how many do we have? 8, 16, 24, 32, 48. So this, effectively, it's like having 48 regular fish all in a farm. Oh yeah, those kilogram numbers are schmoovin'. If we can get up to fish farm, yeah. And then how much more of this is there to do? Oh no, we've finished 1, 2, 3. Can you release the fish into the lakes? So I need the fish farm that unlocks at 5 tons of aminals. But hypothetically, because I've already started this, if I can just find a means of, you know, keeping this structure going. Oh, yeah. Because how many more eggs do we have? 1. That number will increase. I also need to look at our electricity usage. Okay, we're still definitely in the clear. All right. How many can I make? 3. 3. 3. 3. Your base has a bee infestation? No. And technically, because they're bees, they're paying the rent. They make the honey. Is this how they actually make electricity? They just spin a little guy inside some rings, and then it emits particles, and it's inside of a ball. Is this how electricity is made? Scienticians and the brain people at home, can you confirm? That's how you boil water to make electricity. This isn't quite working. How am I missing 1? Yeah, it's 9. 5, 15, 17. Okay, here we go. Maybe it's outside? Did it go up? Am I out of algae? Is that the problem? No. Fertilizer, algae, squash to methane. Oh, I'm out of methane. As is tradition. Yeah, like, almost none of my drones are doing anything right now. It's very odd. All right. Oh, come on. What I can do, though... Yeah. Okay, I think that's actually all I need. You can go back to making fertilizer. Alrighty. The water is indeed so very blue. I had to do that because I'm looking for something in particular and I've forgotten where it is. And I thought it might have been back there, and it's, it's not. Yeah, where the heck? I swore it was just around the corner from Waterfall. Maybe I did goof this up. I'll backtrack. I was hoping that the F4 button would propel me forward to speed this up a little more, but alas. It's me. I'm alas. Okay, so... Oh. Wait, is that just wild algae? Oh, that's cool. This whole area is, like, conceptually super neat. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Yeah, we've been here before. But this area is actually kind of cool. And now we can dismantle those. And over here, oh, I need 3. Well, I'll put 2 in. The really harsh light when you step in there is actually kind of cool. That is a, well, let's go build a 3rd one. I'll start there. Okay. I was kind of hoping to, you know, just kind of slide up that. You know, don't work yourself too hard, video game. I think we've already been back behind the waterfall. Yeah, they turned it into a right, into a graveyard. Ain't that a secret behind the falls? What is it? It's a secret mass grave. I don't like secrets anymore. I think that's why they're both still full. All right. More fish. More fish. Give me all of these, so that way we can make room for more fish. More fish. Ah! I said I was going to the bank. Didn't say which one. It did need all of the auxiliary sound effects. Alright, but now that we've turned on the power... that means that I've turned on their backup generator. And that means I can now explore more of this ship, which supposedly contains important items. I'm kind of questioning that. Oh, no, never mind. I only say morning, because if it was a good morning, I'd be fishing. What the? Okay. As soon as I touch the water, like, the whole game is base boosted. And it's because there was a meteorite a-coming. It's okay, Meteor. Take your time. Alright, I'm gonna do one more run out there, and then I think that'll be it for the stream. I've gotta pick up all that pulsar quartz too. That couldn't have been it. Oh, hey there, Pulsar Quartz Meteorite. Hey! How many Pulsar Quartz do you have for me? Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Why is it funny? Haha! Haha! One! Cool. None of those opened. It was only on the other side. I think it was last week. I was doing a silly bit at home, and I told my brothers that I was trying to come up with what will be my new signature laugh, and it was stuff like hee ho, hee ho. we're of the opinion that that's obviously a silly. It's fun. They hated it. I never got a more violently negative reaction from a goof. It was like absolute like bloodbath. I'm just go, you know, they'd say a funny thing and I go, hee ho. You know, at one point it got to the level where they said something along the lines of like, why do you feel the need to try to reinvent yourself? Can't you just be happy with the person you are? Which, you know, that's not the point of Hee Ho. It's just, it's a goof. It's a, and, you know, given the other conversations that are being had, it got on my nerves a little. But also, it reminded me of the people that would be like, you know, oh, Sonic couldn't breathe in outer space. There's no air. He would die. It's like you are somehow, you are missing the point. Actually, hedgehogs don't run at the speed of sound. They only run about 20 to 30 kilometers an hour. And actually, I think your disrespect for scientific accuracy is what's ruining comedy. To which I say, hee ho. Because for a while, I'm real pleased to learn that according to this online source, hedgehogs can run about 15 to 30 miles per gallon. I understand miles per hour, but boy, I love that goof so much. Miles per hour. Yeah, that's Sonic's friend. Tails miles per gallon. 15 to 30. It's such a fun typo is the thing. I love that typo so much. I know what you mean. You mean miles an hour. What is this? Hold on. Oh, let's fix that. This all needs to come up and over. It doesn't want to cooperate is the problem. That's how we're ending the stream. Yeah, miles per gallon. We're gonna end with the same Kevin MacLeod MIDI that we started with. This is Rock On Chicago. It might sound a little familiar. McDonald's is the place to rock. I don't remember any of the other lyrics, I'm sorry. Rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's. McDonald's sells hamburgers for people to buy and eat. They sell Big Mac. They sell the Quarter Pounder. Rock. It's like we're really at a Wesley Willis concert. It's like I'm getting headbutted by him right now. I'm learning loads. McDonald's. They sell the chicken nuggets. They sell apple pie. They sell McCafe drink. Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions. No, what's one that he hasn't used? Yoshi's Woolly World. It's a double Yoshi Exploshi. I don't know what that means. Take care. Stay safe. I think we'll probably just do one more stream of Planet Crafter because we're pretty much at the end. So I guess that'll be next week. Look forward for more at some point of something else. Oh, and if you didn't see the video or the other updates, today the final video on my channel, a part of my normal weekly schedule system, has come out. At this point forward, the videos will come out when they're done. So enjoy. Take care. And meow, 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 meow. Wow. Hey, I'm just a little kitty. Meow. Check out what I can do. Hello. Hi. I'm that same cat.